We're gonna have to stop. We're gonna have to get you a different song because I get all into the song, and then when it ends, I'm just like, ah, and I forget that the camera's on now.
Oh crap, we're on. Yeah, that's it.
It's a problem. It's a thing.
It's a good song though.
It is a really good song.
It's a
I
good
can't
choice.
remember the name of it's Alexander something, but it's in the we credited him in the video, so just go back and watch it again if you want to know. Anyway, episode 7 of What Katy Draws, and Fish is kind of becoming another host here. Like we're just it's gonna be no drawing, just talking.
I'm just secretly slipping my way into all the shows, into the UHSs and all this stuff.
Well, he's here because I am once again working on the Mighty Core, who is our good friend Fish's creation.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
So
we're not just having Fish on willy-nilly here.
No.
There's a purpose. And speaking of the Mighty Core, why don't we put that up on the screen? Because it's looking pretty freaking sick. Jesus Christ, what is that reference photo? Holy
I remembered I had a barbarian reference pack, so like just before the stream I was like, yeah, that is about the same sort of expression. So yeah, there's I'm gonna go on my so I found that one, and there's like quite a few other different pictures.
The red paint is so jarring. Let's say.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm just trying to get a feel for the actual the way that the face moves about and stuff. I mean, he is as far from Core as you can possibly get because he's like super skinny, but yeah, the face is good though.
Oh yeah, he's got a very expressive face.
Yeah, so it's by the reference pack is by the same guy that does the other ones that I use, the Sateen Zilla on ArtStation. I have far too many of those. Every time I get there's a sale comes and I'm like, oh, that's one I haven't got before. So they're always useful because you can kind of just keep, the banner. They're always useful because you can keep going back. I kind of worked on the girl a bit more, the princess, but I'm probably going to go back to doing some more with her a bit later on.
And she's got actual legs now.
She does.
She's got a lower half now.
And not just like sketch lines, which is yeah. I'll go back and work on that one a bit later. But I thought today I might work on Core's face a bit more. So was that the reference picture? No, it wasn't. Was it?
Yeah, that's the one you were using before.
I have two that's in. Yeah, I've got two that's in very similar positions, and I can't remember which one I used. I think it is that one though. Yeah. Okay, so what are you working on today, Fish?
I am also working on a picture of Kaw that I just kind of started offhand, waiting for a meeting to start one day, and I'm really trying to get the hang of working on my XP Pen tablet again. I had to send it off for repairs, and it's what I used to use to draw on this setup in my office. And then after my grandkids lived in here for 6 months, all of a sudden there's like a chunk of the screen that didn't work anymore, and it was right where all the little buttons to control all my little side menus were, like to scroll up and down to find a new tool. Like that strip didn't work anymore. And couldn't have been a worse location. But I sent it in and they resoldered some connections, and it seems to be working fine now. So I'm trying to get myself back in the habit so I can use it on my art stream. And I figure I'd rather mess up on an extra drawing of COD than, something important somebody was paying for. And
it did actually take me quite a while to get used to drawing on this, because I always used the one where you're looking at the screen, but using just there's no screen on what you're actually drawing. But now I've got the same one that you've got. It's having the actual screen where you're drawing is really interesting. About the difference in it.
I love it, but also like it takes some getting used to, and especially like if you're used to, you've broken that connect of having to look where you're going down here and you're looking up here while you're working. You got to get used to it all over again. And each tablet works a little bit different in just all the little ways. And like I've noticed from tablet to tablet, my art will change. Like I can clearly notice the difference, but like the way I have to set the settings on this to work right will make my lines a little bit sharper edged in some places.
Yeah.
And my other, my Microsoft Surface Pro has a completely different look to it when I draw, but they all come out looking fine. It's just little variations you got to get used to.
Let's see if I can. Sorry, I know that kind of pale eye is a bit spooky as well, but. No, I do like having some of these packs to actually get the different expressions and things.
Oh yeah. I'm wishing.
It could be worse, Katie. It could be heroin. It could be addicted to something bad. And like, I mean, this isn't even a physical thing that's taking up room in your house. Like, this is just digital stuff. Like, it could be so much worse. It could be like me and collecting cats. I mean, do you know where we store all this poop? Because I don't.
I'm assuming the bin. I'm hoping
I don't
it's
know
the
where
bin.
the trash guys. I don't know what the trash guys do with the trash after they pick it up. That is their business. We give them a lot of cat poop every week.
You could be stuck in like wall-to-wall Hummel figurines or something, or Hallmark commemorative plates, or all kinds of different things. Digital files of reference, not a bad thing. That can all be stored digitally and not take up a whole lot of room, and is useful for your work.
Yeah, although I do also already have possibly 6 external hard drives full of stuff. Although now it's currently 5 because one of them's gone kaput. So fortunately, I think it was one that I was just backing stuff up on, so it's not too much of a problem. But when I plug it in now, it's just going, tick, 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 which is it's not recognizing it.
So it turned into a bomb. Is that what you're saying?
It just kind of sound like that, yeah.
Huh.
That scares me because I've got one external hard drive set up over here that's connected to like my network and my OneDrive and backs up everything onto there every night.
Yeah.
And I'm counting on that as my backup if OneDrive fails, because everybody's like, oh yeah, save your stuff to the cloud, it's so easy, you can get to it anywhere, blah blah blah. But the first thing they do when you sign up is like, oh, by the way, we're not responsible, and we're not financially responsible for money you lose if we lose all of your files and client information and
yeah.
But buy our shit.
Yeah. But yeah, trust us. But just know we're not responsible if we screw it up. And like that makes it hard for me to trust them 100%. But OneDrive has been handy. I can get to it from all my computers. I can make a file in the living room and pull it up in here. That's nice. But I want to have my own backup.
Yeah, I mean, I use my external hard drives as backup, but then it involves me actually remembering to back up onto them, which because I'm not very tech savvy at all. So, I'm not great at remembering anything. So,
oh yeah, I had to Google the instructions on how to set it up automatically because there's no way I'd remember to do it.
Music is so calming.
It is. His expression is kind of not really suiting the music. He's something a bit more dramatic. You see, if I could have got the thing that I was going to put on as the music to work, it would have been great because there was like some really creepy, spooky ones.
Yeah, I've got some over on the UHS account, but I don't want to get them. I don't feel like it. Oh, it's an excellent excuse, isn't it?
What, that you don't feel like it? Well,
I mean, feel like it. I'll do it next time. Although it requires you reminding me to do it because I'm not definitely not gonna remember. So, and that's two goldfish asking each other to remind them of something. It's not gonna work. Katie and I are equally terrible at remembering stuff.
Yeah, if anyone's asking me to remember stuff from them, they're in big trouble.
That's why we're screwed.
Oh my god! Every time my wife's like, "Babe, remind me to," and I'm just looking at her, I'm like, "I'll give it everything I have because I love you more than life itself." But we both know I am not going to remember we had this conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of intended on working on this a bit more. I did do a little bit more, but today basically because I was so busy last week. Just I had a stall set up for selling cards and prints, and I didn't do too badly. But then I had to figure out how the square card reader thing worked as well, which wouldn't communicate with my phone. And
yeah,
I wanted
to help you with that when you mentioned it, but I was just like, I don't have a clue what kind of phone you have, and even if I did, like, what are the chances I would actually have any experience running that? I have no idea what's wrong with your stuff. Yeah. Sorry, but I wanted to help.
Well, it was a Huawei phone. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's a Huawei phone,
seen
and
one of those up close.
It was something to do with developer options. Like, developer options were enabled, so I tried turning them off, and it still didn't work. And then it was some other setting that I found that in the bottom of some really long thread about people having the same issues on a different type of Huawei phone. That's like, oh, that did it. So yeah, apparently it did work and it is registered as compatible, but then they suddenly changed something recently, which has now made it not compatible anymore. So unless you do this one thing, so
not frustrating at all.
Yeah, and me being. I just procrastinate constantly. I did it like on the evening before I had my stall. So,
you also have this. You asked us all how we liked and what we used, and we're all like, "Oh yeah, Square, it's so easy, right?" And see, completely did not think about the fact that when I told you that, I'm sitting here with an iPhone, which is incredibly easy to use and not at all like a Huawei. Which I don't even think that we can have Huawei's in this country. I think that brand is illegal in this country. Like, it's been banned because of something China, something.
Because of China.
So yeah, I was like, I don't fucking know why.
Oh, it's not like
Trump
Microsoft
like
and
China,
all the other
and
people are watching.
President.
Yeah. But it's not like, Microsoft and everybody else isn't looking at your phone.
Whoa. Now, those are good old-fashioned American monopolies, not communist Chinese monopolies.
Exactly.
Well, they've got laws in their country that the government can just look at their files if they demand so. Not like in our country where our information's safe unless our duly appointed officials demand to look at it, in which case they can too.
Yeah.
No, it's not nearly the same.
We're not looking at your data. We're just storing it. It's like, how is that better?
Yeah.
At least we have the
you can look at it whenever you want.
NSA people on the payroll at these companies with their own offices looking through the information real time because we care.
And I mean, I'm not even American, so
Then
you're
when
all
one of
looking at my phone.
Edward Snowden. He's like, I gotta do the right thing, and so he tells the world about this shit, and then our government's response is to try to put him in jail forever. And now the poor guy's living in Russia, which he didn't choose.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying that he shouldn't face any consequences. I'm just saying that he should, that we should let him come back to the States and not put him in jail immediately. What he do? Was it really that wrong?
Fisher, do you ever decide on what color his eyes were?
No, I did not.
Birds mostly have amber-colored eyes, right? Would he be a bird eye?
Not necessarily.
Well, yeah, I mean, in general, I when I see a bird, it always most of the birds that I see have yellowy amber-colored eyes.
They can have black eyes, green eyes, any colored eyes, red eyes.
I mean, my thought was that it would be pretty dark, and if I ever got in there to show pupil color, or an iris color rather, it would probably be, like a dark blue, like his hair,
Yeah.
probably. But I so rarely draw that just because of my art style, and like I don't usually draw gigantic heads.
I mean, dark blue kind of works because, like, if you see jackdaws have got very sort of blue-gray eyes, and they're in the corvid family. So,
And if something else works better for your illustration, go nuts. I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about other people's drawings of him being, slightly inaccurate.
Yeah.
continuity,
Especially at the point where right now, like, nobody else has read the book, so like they don't have access to the same kind of information that I have.
I made on my chibi, I made his eyes brown, and they don't like they're not. It's not bad, but they're not really doing anything. Like they're not. It doesn't look really cool or anything. So I would say
Right.
not brown if you're looking for something that looks cool.
You see, I find it really difficult sometimes with characters. I've done this picture of, I think I showed you it, Sarah, one of my characters that I've been writing about, and I have two versions of the portrait of him. One's got blue eyes and one's got brown eyes, and I cannot decide which one I like best.
Until you get an established fan base, I don't think that you have to decide that. You
Well,
just
I need to
have
actually finish
decide it
writing
before
it
you
first.
suggest or before you consider publishing. You
Yeah,
probably
I need
wanna
to finish
figure that
writing
out.
it first. That's a long, long way in the future, if ever.
Well, I mean, you don't have to publish it either. You can just write it because it's fun to write. Nobody said you
Yeah.
had to publish it. I am getting very fatigued of people suggesting that we have to hustle all of our side projects. Like, we don't have to hustle everything.
Oh,
Can we
yeah.
just do it because it's fun, please?
But
Thank you very much.
writing is much better if you can actually get other people to read it, though.
Sure.
Oh, it is.
But see, that's the thing. Is like Lori and Dee and I have all read it. I don't know who else you've shown it to, but like we've read your stuff, and like so people are reading it just because millions of people aren't reading it. Which, if
That's
in
true.
indie publishing, let's be honest, millions of people probably aren't going to read it.
No,
'Cause
that's
it's
true.
indie.
I mean, I could always try and make a comic out of it.
Yeah.
Which, especially, like...
Which
the
is
bit-
easy, right, Sarah?
So easy. Adapting a huge novel type thing into a graphic thing. Yeah, oh, so easy.
Practically writes itself.
Sure.
You see, one of the scenes really would work as a visual... Well, it might be a graphic novel style thing, rather, But, one of the scenes really would work for that. Because I've got it, like... I sort of write as if I'm drawing pictures anyway, so... human eyes always confuse me a bit. You'd think with me being a human, I wouldn't
The
get quite
eyes I
such a-
have looked at most in my life really confuse. They just baffle me. Don't feel bad. Emotions baffle me, and I have to draw these things all the time. So it's amazing to me sometimes that I am an artist and this is what I do. And like body language and emotion is one of the things that my clients are super excited about when I do it and how well I do it. And I'm like, man, I can't read body language to save my life. I had a lady hitting on me at Walmart a few years back, and she's like yelling across the store at me as I'm walking out, and I'm just waving. It was like 4 hours later when I got home, I realized she was flirting with me. Not a clue.
I'm not good at realizing that either. And it's like, in my case, I'm just like, once I do realize, it's like, why? It's like...
That's always my thought too. Is like, why?
Like,
What
you know I'm
exactly
a
did
mess,
I do that you
right?
found so intriguing? Because I did not think I was being anything but ridiculous and awkward and uncomfortable.
So what's wrong with you that you're into me?
So, like, clearly you're not dating material anyway because you have bad judgment.
You're not the type I go for. Sorry.
I like this brush that I'm using a lot, but it has, like, if I go from right now I'm at 27%, and if I switch it from 27%, it's teeny tiny little things, right? And then if I switch it to 30%, it fucking covers the page. Why are brushes like this?
What software are you using?
This is Procreate.
Oh, I don't know then.
And it's also like a free brush that somebody gave me, so I have
well,
no idea.
Yeah, you see,
like,
Clip
not
does
a
it in
great
like
brush.
pixels.
Yeah.
There's a dog. If you want to go out, you're gonna have to ask somebody else, not me.
Though it does have another setting that I used once on a couple of custom brushes that is like relative size on screen or something like that. So like whatever size you set your brush to, it's that size on the screen, and however far you zoom in, it's still that size on the screen. So now it's smaller on your picture, or
That's
you
kinda
can
cool.
zoom out and now it's bigger.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to get used to because I'm so used to working with it by being so many pixels high that it kind of threw me off. But it was kind of nice for some things like texture background brushes and stuff.
Yeah. It sounds quite weird to get your head around because I've always worked in like pixel size.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. I was very much a vector person for most of my art graphic design career here.
I'm not sure
I've
I've ever
been
done
a
a
vector
vector.
person, and having gone to Procreate here in the past just few years, I'm finding that I like it more and more. Prefer doing stuff here. The only thing that Procreate doesn't do great is the vector stuff. So like if I want to do some cool text effects or something, I either have to put a lot of extra work into faking it, or I've got to deal with a plain effect because Procreate just can't do that. But
Yeah.
I can take my drawing and export it and drop it into Illustrator and then make my cool text effect there, or make my cool text effect in Illustrator and drop that into Procreate. Like it's fine. It's just like it'd be cool if I could do it all in one program.
Yeah, it's better when you don't have to go between a bunch of programs to make it work. And Clip Studio is usually so good at that. That's one of the things I love is the way it incorporates vector art and raster art together.
Mhm.
But like in the new update, they say they've added the ability to like fit text to path so I can make it go around a curve or something, which is something I've been dying for in Clip Studio. But as of yet, I haven't been able to figure out how to make it work. I need to stop and take the time and, look up some tutorials or something. But, somebody's so busy putting out books like, The Grow Magnet. You can sign up for the pre-launch page on GoMrFish.com. I'm doing all this other stuff that I don't have time to go watch videos to do that.
One thing I like about Clip though is that they do the tutorial competitions every month. Have you seen those?
Yeah, they've got one going on now. Like they're paying out real money if you do
Yeah,
do
It's
one
like
people
it's a
live.
pretty hefty chunk of change too, isn't it? Like
$10,000
like a
or
couple
something.
$1,000s.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
think it's $10,000 in total prize money.
But
But
like
yeah,
$900 if you do a good one, and
Yeah,
$900 ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. $900 would pay almost all of my monthly bills, and then I would be able to keep that month's actual wages to do something fun.
Gasp.
I was
Oh,
who does fun stuff anymore?
Oh,
Our
man.
big vacation for this year is going to be that we're taking I take my nieces and nephews to movies sometimes, and
I thought you were going to say
pandemic happened,
cats
so it's
then.
been a while. No, the cats are the cats are sometimes. I wonder if they're more troubles than they're worth, But, yeah, no, I we're taking the kids to see. Well, we were gonna take them to see Guardians of the Galaxy, and then I was like, my youngest niece she is so sensitive and so empathetic, and she's just such a sweet little girl, and she's 8 years old, and I heard somebody say animal abuse about in regards to it, what's happening in the show, in the movie, and I'm just like, wait.
Oh,
Somebody tell me about the animal abuse. Like, what exactly are we talking about?
yeah.
And
You don't want to take a super sensitive little girl.
yeah, she's just, I don't want to, like, I told my sister, I was like, I think maybe we have to do a different movie if this is the case, because because like there's 4 of them and 2 of them are older and 2 of them are younger, and it's like we could split them up and take the older ones to see Guardians and then take the younger ones to see
Then you're
something else,
not
but I
all
hate doing
going to
that
do
too.
the same thing together. It
Yeah,
kind of takes out some of the fun.
Yeah, and like I know the little ones love to go and do stuff with their big sister and brother, and it's just I don't want to have to split them up like that.
Mhm.
And so I talked to Dee. Actually, Dee said she gave me some spoilers. Unfortunately, I have to deal with spoilers in order to protect my innocent little baby face niece. Like she can't. I don't want to destroy her. You know, I told my
Well,
sister, I was like, if she's gonna get some childhood emotional trauma, I want that to be from her parents, not from me.
Oh, she's
You
not-
want her to
she's
be in
clearly
therapy talking about her parents being awful and her amazing aunt, not
That's
vice
what
versa.
I want.
She's clearly not an 80s child from like the UK when we were like watching like Farthing with Friends where the hedgehogs are getting run over and the baby mice are getting impaled on the spikes by the butcher bird and stuff. And this is on children's TV as well.
UK had some intense shit even by 80s
Hello.
standards. We had some messed up stuff. Like I mean, we had the Never-Ending Story,
That's
and we
normal.
had the Labyrinth was just weird. It wasn't really scary. But the schmooze from Care Bears, was it Care Bears? No, My Little Pony. Like there was some scary stuff on 80s American 80s kids TV, but yeah.
We had Watership Down.
I was just gonna say it wasn't Watership Down traumatizing. It was traumatizing, but not that traumatizing.
In fact, actually, Watership Down isn't even as bad as the other one by the same author.
Freaking Reservoir Dogs?
No, Plague Dogs. That's what it
Plague
was.
Dogs. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
bad. I keep mixing up the names, but I know what you were gonna say. I knew it. That one's
Yeah.
fucked up too.
It's even more fucked up, to be fair. I mean, it's literally about dogs escaping an animal testing facility with the plague. No, the animal testing facility has got the plague in the facility. So then everyone's like, oh my god, these dogs have escaped. They must be carrying the plague. So then the army gets sent after these dogs to kill them. And it's like, this is a kid's thing. And it's like, even as an adult, I got traumatized watching that. It was awful.
I mean, E.T. was pretty traumatizing, honestly. Like, the
Thank
last
you.
part of E.T. freaked me out.
I got laughed at for saying E.T. was traumatizing.
No.
I don't really
E.T.'s
I'm
messed
glad
up.
somebody else thinks that too, because I haven't been able to watch E.T. in 20 years. It's I don't.
Yeah,
like-
E.T. was messed up.
Some of the things that if you look back at some of the things, like how E.T. puppeted Elliot, like do you have any idea how much trouble he could have gotten Elliot into by
Mhm.
puppeting him like that? I mean, come on.
I just don't remember it very much.
Getting him drunk? Like,
Yeah. Friends don't let friends commit sexual assault on their classmates.
mhm.
And he just like made Elliot kiss that girl, and she did not say that was okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that was, back in the day, these things were better. Sorry, there is a dog staring at me. No, you
Yeah, I can
just
see
ask
it.
somebody
It's
else.
he wants something from me. Is he just want to go pee?
Possibly.
And
I'll
you're the
take
only
him.
one
Come
who
on.
can-
Thing is, he won't even go out sometimes if my parents let him out, he'll just stand on the doorstep and then he'll come back in and like,
Oh
I
my
want to go
God.
out.
Nah.
Is that a collie thing? My dog used to do that too. He would just, if I didn't go out onto the grass with him, I had to actually, in the middle of winter in Wisconsin, leave the house and like just
I
go
think
out
it's
to
more
the
of a
end the
nervous
sidewalk,
dog
man.
thing. Yeah, I think it's
Well,
more of a
and that's
nervous.
what-
Yeah.
Shelties and collies are nervous dogs, aren't they?
Well,
Well, not all of them, but like that's a kind of a
Spot
thing.
definitely is. Yeah. So I'm taking him to these like a dog trainer to try because he's not very good with other dogs. Which even though he lives with another dog, but he's not good with like
Scared or
strange
aggressive?
dogs. Because he's scared, he gets he starts barking and gets a bit aggressive with it. So we're trying to teach him neutrality at the moment, which is just not really reacting to other dogs. Which is he's getting better with it when they're on the lead, but I'm a bit worried about taking him anywhere where like loose dogs will run up to him.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a big dog, and he, when he's losing his shit about something, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
You can see
But-
that being a thing.
Yeah.
People can overlook, little dogs being aggressive because, like, oh, she's so tiny, not realizing that they can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But, like, when a big dog acts like that, people get really scared. And
Then you get
even
these people.
like,
you
I
get
had
these-
a dog that was, like, he would bark when he was excited and happy. And, like, he wants you to play with him. So he was barking at you very loudly. And
Yeah.
everybody took that as aggression and would get scared and run away. And now he thinks you're playing. So he's chasing. And, like,
Yeah.
he's having a ball. Everybody
Yeah.
else is crying and screaming. And, like, it's hard to explain that to a little kid who's running around thinking this dog's trying to eat them.
Yeah, I mean, Spot, he's okay with people. He doesn't really do it with other dogs. And you get these people, and then you get the people that are like, "Oh, my dog's friendly. Don't worry." It's like, well, yours is, but mine isn't.
Mhm.
It's like as mine turned into the Hound of the Baskervilles. It's like yeah, like please keep your dog away.
I am always blown away when other dog people don't understand that just because your dog is friendly doesn't mean everyone's dog is friendly.
Yeah. Or just
But
because, most other dogs have liked you and gotten along with you doesn't mean that this dog is going to.
No, I mean some dog you never know with dogs whether they've been like abused or the rescue dogs or anything like that. They can make a huge difference to them. I mean,
Mhm.
Spot's none of those things. He's just a massive coward, but he's always been like that. And it's
I don't like dog owners that allow their dogs to just run around and like run up to strangers too, because
yeah.
I'll be honest, I would really rather not pet your dog. It's not that I hate dogs or anything. It's that dogs smell bad, and every time I pet them, the smell gets on my hand, and your dog always smells, and I don't want that on my hand.
Sarah, that's the smell of love.
And I love, like, it's my favorite thing is that I say I'm a cat person, and people are just like, well, you hate dogs then, right? And I was like, no, I have cats, and I prefer cats as my own personal menagerie. I don't want a dog. I learned that. I had a dog. I found out that poor thing had to learn along with me that I'm much better being a cat person.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I think it does. It's definitely a thing. It's like I don't actually like the smell of cats at all, which is like, well, I had to house sit for one, and I think you were like, "Oh, are you turning into a cat person?" I was like, "Not really." He was okay.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Like, you and I are the same, flip sides of the same coin, because you are like, don't hate cats, but you don't want one in your house, and I like dogs just fine. I don't want one in my house.
Yeah.
But people just assume that, oh, their dog is friendly, so everybody must want to pet it. No, I don't want to pet your dog. And I don't like it when your dog comes running up to me and sticks his nose up my butthole either, okay?
Some dogs smell worse than others. I mean, like...
Oh,
Danny
man, my Basset Hound used to stink.
Yeah, Basset Hounds are stinky. But my Jack Russell, my first Jack Russell, didn't even smell like a dog. It was weird. He had like a sort of like honey-ish smell to him. It was really peculiar. But
my dog always, like, I would give him a bath, and for the first 5 or 6 days after that bath, he would smell like the shampoo that I bathed him in. And then slowly the smell would creep in, and I'm telling you, like, have you ever left a raw piece of chicken in your fridge for way longer than it needed to be, and then opened up the bag and had that unpleasantness happen to you? That's what he would smell like. It wasn't a dog smell. It was a rotten, gross ass. Like,
he's a long-coated
chicken.
dog, though.
Yeah.
Long-coated dogs tend to smell. I mean, Spot, he's an entire male dog, so he does smell a bit stronger as well. But I mean, Hazel, she doesn't really smell like a dog either. I think that, like, the short-coated Jack Russell types don't really seem to smell the same. I like how you called
him an entire male dog. Do you have a half a male dog?
Well, he's not like my male dog now, because
my
male dog is now half a man.
I know what you meant. It was funny the way that you worded it.
It's a funny way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's entire. It's
intact.
Intact, yeah.
He still has his bits.
Yeah, because I mean, because he's so nervous. There's some vets now think that with it like super anxious dogs, it can make them worse if you get them fixed.
I thought that was just like an age thing, like if you get them fixed when they're too young.
Oh no, apparently it's something to do with they're really really nervous. Anxious dogs, and my cousin's a vet, and he actually said this as well. Is that when they lose the testosterone, which gives them sort of courage, they get even worse.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's more of a modern thinking.
Getting like if you fix them when they were too young, that a timid dog would become worse. But I didn't know that it was a thing that extended into adulthood. So that's interesting.
It's something to do with the testosterone, I think.
Yeah,
from what I've read.
Testosterone makes already bold and brave animals more aggressive as they get older, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That it would, if you took it away from an already shy dog, that it would make them shy.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes sense.
he's just a massive wuss. He really is. It's like, if I stand on Hazel's foot, she'll yelp, and he'll run and apologize to me. It's like it didn't even do it to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's but he thinks it's his fault. Because...
I'm sorry, don't hate me.
I know. It's like, you didn't do anything, and Hazel's just running around like forgotten about it already, but immediately.
Sounds like Hazel might be the dramatic one. She probably didn't even feel pain, she just felt the pressure, and she decided that she needed to preemptively scream.
Oh no, I mean, it's terriers, they just sort of instantly forget about it. Terriers are just like that, though. I mean, like...
Dogs.
Danny did... When he was a baby, he tried to push himself under the sofa after he'd actually grown too big, and he ripped the ligament in his stifle joint. Now, that actually did hurt him, and he limped his entire life after that. Just sort of reflexively limped. I don't even think it actually hurt him after a while. I think he just got so used to sort of limping and running on 3 legs. But he did the most amazing thing that I've ever seen a dog do once, where he was quite, he could walk on 3 legs pretty well, because he quite often did that even though he had the 4 legs. But we took him out once when it was really cold. And I'm not joking, he ran on 2 legs, but it wasn't the 2 legs that you think, because you've seen videos of dogs running on their hind legs.
Mm-hmm.
He ran on the 2 diagonals. So he put 1 foot out forwards and 1 foot out backwards, and then ran with using those 2 as balance. He ran with the 2 diagonals. It was amazing. I've never seen a dog do that before.
That's awesome.
I think his feet were cold. He's just running to try and keep his feet off the ice.
I've seen a couple of 2-legged dogs before, and I can't remember. Like, I've seen them on videos and stuff. Because I used to have a 3-legged dog, so I'm always kind of partial to those videos. So I watch them all, and then I get fed more videos like that. I've seen a few 2-legged dogs get up and run around. I can't remember if it was all like on one side or opposite sides or what, but like do that same thing. But they didn't have the other legs to do anything with. They just they didn't have any choice but to figure it out.
Oh no, he just put 1 back and 1 forwards, like directly, horizontally, and then just used them as counterbalance. If a very clever dog was Danny.
Works.
Yeah.
I sat here and drew this entire picture of Kaw and forgot to put his scars on his arms.
I haven't done those yet on this either. Are they like reddish scars?
If you're doing it more realistically, then
because it's still
whatever you want to do with it. Mine are kind of a little bit cartoony and sunk into his body pretty good to make it obvious that they're scars and not like body paint or something.
I could just look at my finger. Very scarred up finger. Let's see. I mean, it just depends how old they are as well, because obviously, like, newer scars would they would look a bit more sort of red.
Yeah, and I kind of hit a continuity error in the book because, like, at one point in the book, you see them bleeding, and it's in it. And that image I ended up using in a lot of the promotional stuff, because I honestly, like, really only have the images from the book and like one or two other drawings of him, and that's it. Because I just went straight into making the book, and so everything's in there, or in my head, or really rough sketches like the ones you've got as a reference there.
Yeah.
So I show them bleeding in this one image, and I use that image in a lot of the merchandise, and and on the cover. But then also you see him before that with the same scars, and so either he just happened to get cut in the exact same places again in this later battle, or I don't know. But I'm not going to worry about it too terribly hard.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing that you could have done. So
yeah,
I'm sure you might get some people like, oh, you've missed out this, and you're like, no, I already knew it was there.
Yeah, and I can just be like, you know what, you're right. I didn't think that little bit through right there. But I also got the book done in a month, so while doing somebody else's book. So I'm not gonna just cry a river because I made one tiny continuity.
And whilst Fish has done like an entire book, I'm still working on the same picture. To be fair, though, I've not been working on it like all the time because I've been doing other stuff as well. So.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because it's now getting into the time of the year when now it's kind of got slightly warmer. The garden's just gone insane. So. I have to try and keep on top of that. Although I managed to get rid of some of the trees that I've got today because I planted a lot of acorns thinking they won't all germinate. Well, of course, they all did. So then I've got like 100 oak trees to get, growing. And I've been slowly giving them away. But someone took a trailer full today, which is great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I did it with Scots pines as well because I'd like got some seeds out of a pine cone and I thought, oh, I'll put some of these in. So they started growing and I thought, oh, great. And then I think the pot hadn't got enough drainage in it and they all rotted off. There was 12 of them. So I thought, I'll plant some more and, probably they won't make it. But, if I can save one or two, well, then I ended up with 72 Scots pines. So.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I ended up giving them away to people on the internet. So it's like, on these local plant forums, it's like, does anyone want any trees? So yeah, I had to do that because like my mum couldn't see her patio anymore. So it was a bit of a problem. And yet I still can't stop buying trees. So. I bought another one the other day when I came back from the exhibition that I was at, the craft fair. I did quite well at the craft fair, but there's a guy who always sells trees at the marketplace, and I always have to walk past him, don't I?
Alright, that came out not terrible.
So. In a realistic style thing, would he have chest hair? Because, or would it...
Realistically, I think he would have some, but, I don't think it would be like Henry Cavill bushy, but, like, he definitely would have some. But then with them being feathers, that makes them so much more prominent that...
Yeah, so his body hair would be feathers, then?
Yeah. Yeah, they're long, thin feathers, but they are feathers. Because,
that's
I gotta make it difficult.
Yeah, that's gonna make deodorant difficult. It's like,
oh gosh, yeah.
Using a roll-on thing and all the feathers get stuck in.
Oh, I don't like to think about how musty he must be.
No.
Gross.
Well, I think about these kind of things because, there's princesses to save and love interests and, but also, big stinky man brute. Like, it's actually, I can tell you and, the handful of people watching us, secret spoilers of future issues. There is an issue coming down the road where a lady is actually like tricking him into taking a bath because he smells.
Nice.
And if taking off all her clothes and jumping in the water gets him to follow, then okay, we'll get him bathed one way or another.
Do you, I know Sarah hasn't read any yet, but have you ever read any of the Discworld books, Fish? The Terry Pratchett, the Discworld books, because there's one book where there's the Knack Feagle, who are the Pixies. They're basically Scottish fairies. She's making them take a bath, and it's like, but we've already had a bath last year or whatever it was. It's like, we've had the one bath this year. Just like the skin cannot take it.
Exactly. Why would you want more? That's ridiculous.
I don't know if it's like an ADHD thing or something like that, but it's like I end up when I'm writing stuff you're gonna kind of think of like weird things, like what do these species smell like, like elves and dwarves and stuff, or at least I do. I'm just like, but
that's why indies are better book writers and creators. Like that's it's the spicy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think about all those kinds of things. Like I got to this one point and I was just happened to be communicating with a friend of mine at the time, and I was like, man, I need a good like space pirate swear, and I can't think of anything. And he's like, what the skag infects? And I was like, okay, I'm using that. And I was like, how'd you come up with that? And he's like, oh, I just make sounds and, till I find something that I like, and then I figure out how to spell that thing. And I'm like,
Nice.
God, that must be easy. Because I'm thinking through, like, how did these creatures evolve? What are they afraid of? What would their heaven and hell look like? What would a religion based around that heaven and hell look like? And what kind of stories would be based on that if this is the scariest thing to us and this is the most amazing thing? And, and then, like, what kind of legends would come up from that? And which one of those would you pick to, like, really focus on as a person and be something that you might yell out in a time of... So you can really tell the difference between, like... the kind of swears that were inspired by Eric and the kind of swears that come out of the other pirates, because some of them are definitely more complex.
You see, a combination of those two things is Tolkien, because he just started out just writing and inventing his own languages by making sounds with his mother. I think she died when he was quite young. But he started out making the languages and then started building up the actual stuff around it. Mm-hmm. That's how the Lord of the Rings and everything happened, just because he was trying to make a place for the language that he created. But he just liked sounds. I think there was a famous a recording of him that he said that, if you don't actually have the meaning of the words, then some words just sound really beautiful, like cellar door. I mean, like, and if you didn't know it meant like a door down to a basement, then you'd think it was a really beautiful word. And he's true. It is right, though. I mean, it's the he could speak so many languages, though. I mean, I can't. I've tried. I can't even name my own flipping characters because I just kind of get stuck. It's like random name generators. That'll do.
And it's tough because, like, once you do it, you're stuck with it. So you want to do it right, and you want to make sure it's the right one, because, like, once you publish it with that name, like, there's a whole bunch of old sketches where, Virgil is named, like, Herschel and Ezekiel and all kinds of other things. But ultimately, I forgot about all those and hit Virgil one day, and I was like, that's nice and simple and easy, and it stuck after that.
Yeah. It's a good name, though.
Yeah. And then some of the characters, like from Green Zone, got named very last minute. And some characters still don't have first names. Like some main characters still don't have first names.
I've got the
actually-
opposite problem. A lot of mine don't have second names.
I had actually thought about running a contest to let people vote on what that person's name ends up being.
That'd be good. It's looking a bit. The face is a bit better now, I think.
He kind of looks like he's like somebody told him to smile, so he did that face.
Ugh.
And they're like, wait, don't smile. That's
Hell,
we need to
show
work on
teeth.
that.
Ah.
Yeah, I was trying to kind of go for the bad teeth in, sort of.
Teeth are fucking awesome. Like, you need more teeth in all of the pictures need more teeth.
I
Yeah,
have.
teeth are hard to draw.
I end up putting way too much time and attention sometimes in the teeth than they deserve because nobody's going to look at them that long. But like, I like making them crooked and overlapping and like all kinds of weird things that teeth do. And then I'm like, nobody's ever going to notice that this dude's teeth are crooked and this dude's teeth are straight. Like, one person is going to notice that detail. But by George, I put it in there.
I love details like that, though. I think that if you didn't do that, I think everybody would notice, but they wouldn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
See, why is there this thing that this is something I've always wanted to know? That why is it that like Americans always seem to think that that like a stereotypical British person has bad teeth?
Because we are obsessed with crooked and extremely white teeth. We are obsessed with perfectly straight and perfectly white teeth, and British people don't have perfectly straight and perfectly white teeth. And
Yeah, but
I learned-
most Americans probably don't either.
No.
It's all like
the ones,
braces
yeah,
and things.
that's
Mine are
why
all
we
crooked.
have low self-esteem, because we don't have, like, if we can't afford to make our teeth perfectly straight, I don't know why well, it's cosmetic and like superficial, and
Yeah.
it's not something that it's our culture specifically, but it is like we're obsessed with perfect straight teeth. And I mean, when I was younger, my obsession with having perfect straight teeth is why my teeth are garbage now, because I was like, I need to have braces to make my teeth perfect. And now they're junk because you can't put braces on teeth for 10 years and expect them to not rot right out of your freaking head.
Yeah, I have pretty straight teeth to start with, but yeah, I'm having issues because when I was a kid, that I didn't really realize it was a bad idea to open paint tubes with your teeth. So I'm pretty sure there's been a few cracks that have now decided they're going to start causing issues. And I broke one of my teeth when I was eating soup, which is,
This one,
That's just Katie doing Katie.
that's just me.
this one, 100%. Like, besides like being a teen boy and not brushing my teeth as thoroughly, especially in the back as I should have, because boys are gross. A large part I think was Tourette's and me gritting my teeth and biting down, because I will regularly knock little chips off of my teeth, and then eventually that one just cracked and broke and had to get taken out, and and the thing is, the getting it taken out was fine. The dude was like, you know what, I'm gonna give you some IV medicine and you're not gonna remember it, like, because of my heart and my Tourette's and everything else. He didn't want to knock me all the way out, but he's like, I promise you won't remember. I was like, that's good enough for me. And I sat down in the chair, and the lady tapped me and told me it was time to get up, and is my wife in the waiting room? And I was like, yeah, let's go. And I left. Accidentally pulled some stitches loose when I got home, apparently. Went back. He snipped off the extra, said it'll be okay. I accidentally pulled more out on the way to the car because I felt I was still a little high. I felt this little thing in my mouth, and I'm poking at it with my tongue, and all of a sudden, pulled more string out. And so then I had to go back in and get more stitches without the anesthesia. I remember that. But I've done a lot worse myself at times, so I'm not worried about that. That was okay.
I remember getting my tooth out. Well, I didn't get anaesthetized for it, but what I did remember was it's like I could feel what they were doing, but it didn't hurt, which is a weird sort of sensation.
I had got a tooth pulled back here. It was super erupted, and there was a wisdom tooth like right underneath it, trying to get out, and I could feel them poking and scratching and hitting the hard tooth underneath, and but I couldn't feel it. I mean, I felt the pressure. I couldn't.
But
feel
you
pain.
feel the scraping in your head as it vibrates,
and it just it echoes and like just shakes and fucking rattles around.
When they
Knock
pulled
me
this,
out next time. Just hit me with a frying pan. It's fine.
when they pulled this top wisdom tooth out, they ended up snapping a hairline fracture across my skull. It like went across my
Jesus Christ.
sinuses and stuff, which it's not uncommon. Like it's in the stuff you sign that, like, you know, there can be fractures and things can happen. And it's just a twang across my skull. And it wasn't that bad at first until like the pressure changed outside when the weather changes, and all of a sudden it felt like my head was going to explode. And I had to quit going swimming because I couldn't go under the water anymore because the pressure made my sinuses feel like it was just going to blow up. But other than that, it was fine. And after a year, didn't hurt anymore. But man, that scared the crap out of me when it happened.
Yeah, and I can imagine.
Shit.
And I tell that story not to freak people out, really, but just to share that it can happen. And like, it wasn't that bad. It was just scary. And, you know, if the worst thing is you don't go swimming, it's not the end of the world. Unless you're like, you know, Michael Phelps or something.
My last partner, he was red-haired, and what they don't tell you is that red-haired people are really resilient to painkillers and like anesthetics and stuff. So he had to have like maximum dose before it would, you know, work, because just, and he was a pretty big guy as well, so it was like you had to have like this, as much as you could possibly give someone, like legally give someone, before it would work on him. But apparently that is a thing with redheads. You know, redheads is that it's this resistance.
Now that
to
you mention it, I remember hearing that before.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the dentist for years because I had a really bad experience, and I kind of panicked on the gas, and it never happened again since with the gas. And I think it was probably because at the time I did so many recreational substances, let's say, that the gas didn't work on me the way it probably should have worked if I, you know, wasn't exposing myself to random things all the time. And then they pulled a couple of big lumberjack dudes out of the waiting room to hold me down so that they could pull the tooth out. And granted, like, I was 16 and 6'2", like I was a big dude, and I was starting to freak out. And so those guys held me down, and I got my tooth yanked out of my head. I didn't go back for like 20 years.
No, I just don't like people looming over me like that. I just, you know, I'm not even frightened of needles. It's just like I don't like seeing people sort of just looming. I don't even like doctors very much either, so it's nothing particularly new for me.
Try as hard as I might, I cannot quit poking at whatever you're sticking in my mouth with my tongue. Like I cannot stop. I try, but I can't. The knocking me out was absolutely the best thing they ever did. Like I highly recommend it.
See, I dislocated my jaw quite badly a while back, and by yawning in the middle of the night, which is just ridiculous. I mean, that is just such a me thing to happen. But ever since then, I've been kind of worried about going to the dentist in case it happens again.
I feel you.
I mean, it didn't hurt to start with, but like 7 hours later when they put it back in, it really did hurt. So.
We should talk about something else. I'm starting to get like phantom pains in my face.
Oh, one thing, to jump subjects back to something we were talking about earlier, and ADD and not being able to remember things or remember reminders. My wife turned me on to a trick that I didn't even know my phone could do. But apparently you can send texts to other people or yourself, and you can set them to send later. And so, like, I can send texts to myself or to my wife, and she does them to me all the time. When I'm like, remind me to do X, Y, Z, she'll write a text right then and there saying, hey, don't forget to do this. And then set it for like 3 or 4 hours later when she knows we'll be home. And then, like, we get home and we're watching TV, and boom, I get a text saying, hey, don't forget to, check on the Kickstarter or whatever.
That's a good thing.
Freaking brilliant. It has worked so well, and I absolutely love it. So if it can help y'all at all, go nuts, use it.
Yeah, that's such a simple little thing.
And doing it right there when you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
I tend to I just not hear my messages from my texting. I tend to get them late afterwards, quite a long time afterwards sometimes, because I don't know, my phone's been weird. I think especially Messenger, Facebook Messenger is not telling me when I have messages. So yeah, I'll have to see about the settings, because it's not set to silent. It just isn't playing the sound.
Yeah, no, that's a Messenger thing. That's because that's happening to me too. That has to be a Messenger thing if it's happening to more than one person.
Yeah.
I messed up something on my wife's text messages to me, and I got a new phone, and all of a sudden, it's an Android phone, and all of a sudden everything works differently on it.
Yeah.
And instead of having like a back button down here, you have to swipe in from the side of the screen, which wasn't that hard to figure out. But if you do that when you're in your text messages and you don't do it exactly right, you end up like archiving somebody's text instead of going back.
Yeah.
And I did something like that to her text, and I got it back, and it's back up on the screen. But now it's real iffy if it dings at all when she sends me a message. And if it does, it's always at like a quarter the volume of all the other ones. And so, like, she gets really frustrated when she's texting me and I don't get it. And she knows my phone is sitting right next to me on my chair where I'm working. Like, it's right there, but I'm focused in on where I'm working. So if she can't get hold of me there, she'll hit me up on Messenger, because she knows that's up on my computer, because that's where I talk to all my clients. So I'll hear that ding. Yeah. But by the time I get that ding, I'm already in trouble, because she's already messaged me 5 times on text message.
Yeah, I'm not the best at getting messages at the moment, just because I just don't know what's going on with my phone. I think I just need to do some like resetting or reinstalling the apps and stuff, maybe. Because they are like fully updated and everything, but it just, one of my friends reckoned it did the same thing to him, and it sorted it when he reinstalled Messenger. But it's such a hassle.
Yeah, it was like something like you have to delete it and then reinstall it.
Oh man!
And then you have to sign in again.
It's the signing in again that's like I remember my passwords.
I uploaded something.
I have my iPhone keychain on now after years and years of being adamant to not use it, and now I do use it, and I'm like, why didn't I use this before? And it'll make passwords for you that are super secure, so you don't even have to think of a new password. Oh, so nice. Hey, J-Man's here.
Hey, J-Man.
Hey, J-Man.
Hey, J-Man. Good to see you, man.
Coming in just in time to, because it's after the hour, so just in time to maybe watch 5 minutes. I don't have any idea.
Oh, we still got an hour and a half to go.
Yeah, I was like, we could do like we did last week and just go on for almost 3 hours. That's cool, too.
Well, mind you, I have a thing where I tend to get like, I do not notice the passage of time when I'm drawing. If I'm into a drawing, it's like, I'll be like 8 hours later, it's like, why am I hungry? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
oh, wait a minute. 11 hours have passed and I haven't.
Yeah, look up for a second, just look away from your screen for just a moment and go, oh my god, I have to pee so bad.
Yeah.
And this, like, turns out for the last 4 hours you've been doing this in your chair.
There's so many times that, like, my wife will get home and I'm still drinking all my coffee from this morning and completely oblivious. I'm like, oh, wow, did you get off early? And she's like, no, it's 8 o'clock. I'm like, oh, dang, it is. Man, well, guess I missed going to the pharmacy today.
And that's definitely an ND thing, too, because
Oh, yeah.
the regular brained people don't do that, and then they look at us like we're the dickheads because we do that. And it's like, no, I didn't do it on purpose. Why do you just assume that I'm trying to sabotage my own damn life? Like, that's
The
why would
out of
anybody
sight,
do that?
out of mind thing bothers me so much because, like, I know people like take it personally, like if I haven't called in X amount of time or whatever, but I'm like, honestly, when I'm busy and working and stuff, like if it's not in my direct field of view, I forget about everything. And, like it's my brother's birthday today. And the last time I text messaged him was his birthday last year. And like I talked to his wife briefly when he fell out of a tree and broke a bunch of bones. And I haven't heard any updates since, and I forgot to check because I was busy working and picture Kevin wasn't in front of me on my screen. So, like, I just got to work it. It's not that I don't love him. I just forgot he was there because I was busy working.
The worst one for me is if stuff is in kitchen cupboards instead of on the counter.
It's gone.
Oh yeah.
And then you go back and it's like 4 years out of date or something. And
Oh
like, I'm sure I got it more recently than that, but...
J-Man's question is for, well, I guess you two, not me. Is this cause real face?
Yeah, he does actually have a face underneath his little headdress mask. It's a little totem that he wears for battle to make him feel powerful. But
Katie's rendition of cause face, which is very good.
But yeah, we get to actually see Cause real face in the first issue. And oh God, I can't wait for people to get their hands on it. I want to just go ahead and send it out, but like nobody's backed it because I haven't launched Kickstarter yet.
Well, I will be backing it when it launches. So. I probably won't be the first person to back it because, like,
speaking of which, did y'all see I got the prints in?
Yes, it looks really good.
I saw them. They look so good.
I got sketch covers. I got that cover right there. Like I said, he's bleeding out of the scars there. A little bit of a continuity error. The painted cover that I did because Katy inspired me came out cool.
I like that one.
And this one by Lee Gaston I loved. Like, he sent this in as fan art, and I was like, that is just too awesome to waste. And so I talked to him about it, and he's like, yeah, man, if you want to use it for a cover, let's do it. And so I could not resist it. He did such a good job, and
I don't even know
love
which
his
one I
art
like
style.
better. His is so good, and it's like it was perfect for the cover.
Oh,
I don't even know which one I like. I was like, nothing against your pieces, Fish, but like
Hey,
his is
his
really
is-
good.
His is right up there as one of my favorites too. Like, we've been talking some, and I was like, if something happens, I absolutely want to tap you because you did such an awesome job on this. You could just go nuts with it. And J-Man loves singing that to the Flash Gordon song. And it does
Works.
fit really, really well. If I could do a decent Freddie Mercury impression, I'd have to do it. I can't even open my mouth that wide with the stitches right now.
I have a theory. So Lori is a really good singer, right? You guys don't know that because she never fucking sings. And honestly, there hasn't been much of an opportunity for me to sing on here either, but I'm a pretty good singer too. And I have a theory that if Lori and I sing together and like get our voices to blend, we would totally fucking sound like Freddie Mercury.
Oh yeah.
And I need to test that theory, but we haven't done it yet. Last time I visited her, she doesn't get to come visit me because she has an elderly cat and nobody to take care of him if she leaves. But I have Jeffrey, so I can go, but Jeffrey can't come. But anyway, the last time I visited her was only for like a week, and it was 95% business stuff that we were doing, so there was no time to fuck around like that. But I have a theory. I think I'm right.
We need to get Heidi to do something for one of these events. Just as long as she stands a long way from the microphone, because like that is a hell of a powerful voice.
I think that we've been toying with the idea because FSK Con is later this year, right? And I was like, it's only like a 6-hour drive. I could totally do it. I think.
Oh man, last year, Lori was like, "Yeah, I'd love to come, but I just can't afford to fly out there." And I was like, "Bullshit! I'm gonna figure this out because I want to meet Lori in person." So I started looking for flights and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, man, we could take up an offering. Like, I bet you everybody could chip in. You know, it wouldn't cost much for us to all get her out there. That'd be awesome. Show her how much she's loved and appreciated." And then I saw how much the flights were, and I was like, "Hell no, we aren't. That's freaking expensive."
I
God.
said, because we've discussed this at length, and I told her, because I was like, if there's a con that we all want to go to, and you can get, like, if you can fly in, because there is it Minneapolis? There's a hub airport near here, like, and when I say near, I mean like within 200 miles. And I was like, if you can get to there, and I can come pick you up, then we can drive the rest of the way, and it would be cheaper. But like, it's her dumbass airport. There is nothing. There's no connecting flights. They don't have any of those deals where you go direct to their airport. Like, that's why. It's just the one. I think it's Minneapolis, and it's just the one. And if you can't fly from Minneapolis to there, then you're fucked. There's no way to get a cheap flight. I flew from here. Well, I flew from Moline. I don't know. Why am I looking and asking you like you know? You don't know. You don't know what fucking airport I use.
I wasn't there.
An airport near here, and flew and connected in fucking Denver, and it was like $700 to get back, and it was only like $400 to get there to there. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't even want to guess how much it would be for you to come across to see me.
Oh, that's funny, Laura. It would, Katie. It would probably cost me less to come to you than it would for me to go to her, if I remember.
Probably
right.
would. I mean, because there's a lot more flights like headed to the UK. Like, you could find
I would
one
have to,
easier.
I would have to get myself to Chicago probably in
Yeah.
order to get that good price. But I bet anything, if I Googled Chicago to, like, what is the closest big airport, the international, like Edinburgh.
No, Edinburgh's like 4 hours away. The closest ones are either Aberdeen or Inverness, because it's.
But it has to be an
It's- yeah.
international airport, though, because I can't fly into a non-international airport from America.
I don't know if. I mean, I think they pretty much are. I mean, I think they're both sort of international ones. Although Inverness
Technically,
is
I
much
could get
smaller.
a connection, but like I could probably
Yeah.
fly nonstop from Chicago to Edinburgh. But anyway, the point is, I could get myself to Scotland probably for the same price or cheaper than I can get myself to fucking Montana. It's
Probably.
It's incredibly stupid.
I can't remember if it was $1,200 or $1,500 when I looked for that ticket, and it wasn't even like short notice. Like, it was a couple of months away, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I
ridiculous.
see why she said that now. That's
And
ridiculous.
my 700 it was a $700 or $800 total tab in the end, and that was in freaking March. What's happening in March? It wasn't even like, okay, so it was probably on or near spring break. I don't remember anymore, but like, it was still March. Who goes to Montana in March on purpose? Come on.
People who live in Montana.
You know what pissed me off though is like, I
moose.
got there and it was gorgeous, like 60-degree, beautiful weather, and so deceptive because there was like mist in the mountains and everything was green, but the air was still drier than a popcorn fart. And I still got bloody noses left and right. That's something they don't put on those travel brochures for Montana, is that you will get bloody noses and you will crumple up like a raisin and die if you don't drink water constantly.
I don't even know where Montana is. I know where Wisconsin is because I looked it up, but I need to look at where Montana is.
Yeah, Montana's kind of out in the middle of no real easy to spot landmarks, but Wisconsin's right next to the Great Lakes, so it's easy to find.
I
Yeah,
just
you
kinda-
basically just go to Wisconsin and go left, and it's over that way.
Left. Basically,
All I
yes.
all I know about Wisconsin is that it's kind of below Canada, so.
That is also Montana, so you just described both of those places.
Mhm.
Well,
J-Man says,
And
you sound
Montana's
much
square.
better than yesterday, Fish. Sounded like Marlon Brando from The Godfather on Vicodin. Nice.
Yeah, I I specifically came on today when Katie invited me just to see how well I could talk. Because, like, if I had to drop out here, there's still the two of y'all talking. It's not the end of the show. If I have to just drop out on my show, well, the show's over. There's nothing going on anymore. So I figured if I couldn't do it, this is a better way to find out.
You
You'd
sound a
have to
little bit
invite-
less high.
Yeah, that too.
That is, yes, you do sound better today.
I appreciate it. I feel so much better. Oh my god. I have experienced a lot of pain. I live in a lot of pain every single day. Me and Pain are old friends, know each other well. He did me dirty the last like 4 days. Like I have never been in that much pain without either blacking out or going into shock. And to not have the relief of either of those and to just sit there for so long, like I was praying for death at one point, like anything to get me out of this so I didn't have to feel it anymore. And that's unusual because, you know, my best days would make most people cry. But that, oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, chronic pain sucks. I don't
Worst-
know that I'm in more or less of it than you, but as somebody who also deals with it, I can empathize to a degree.
Mhm.
And it's super annoying. And people are like, but you're still getting up and walking around. That means you're not disabled. And it's like, does it though?
Yeah.
Because I technically can do it doesn't mean that it's a good thing for me.
I mean, like, there's times that I'm up and walking around and talking and might even be at a function, you know, with friends from church or somebody's birthday party or something.
Yep.
And it seems like I'm doing okay right now. But, like, I'm in so much pain that it's eating up all my processing power. And, like, I'm not going to remember any of this because all I'm going to remember is ow, 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 ow. And, you know,
Yep.
I don't remember the funny things I said. I don't remember, you know, what I did. I don't remember the conversation that we had. It's just gone. Absolutely. Oh, goodness
I've never
gracious.
broken a toe. I can only imagine how much a broken toe, like, because it seems like it's such a little insignificant part of you, but like you have to bend it every time.
Everything comes to a halt when you break the. And I got one of my baby toes is so crooked because I've broken it like 3 times.
I've broken this. The only bone in my body I have ever broken is the same toe 3 times, and it's the one next to my little toe.
Wow,
It's
how
my
did you break
Achilles
that toe.
toe.
That's
What?
Did you drop something on it? Like what the hell?
The first, I don't know if you get them in. Do you get in schools? Do you get PE, physical education?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in
Education.
my, I don't know how to compare them, but this would be in junior school. So I was quite young, about maybe about 8, possibly.
What's
And
that,
we were-
primary school for us?
Yeah, and we had the school had these great big benches that like they had them in assembly, but they sort of clipped onto each other at either end with these big hook things. But you could put them like out, they used to turn them upside down. They had like a beam that went across the bottom of them, and you could use them in like PE and stuff. So our task for that PE was to just keep jumping from one side to the other, and I was kind of getting more and more tired. And then all of a sudden, I went like that with my foot, and it bent my toes right back to like literally up against the bottom of my foot. I thought, oh, that felt weird. So then I went and sat down, and then when I tried to stand up, my foot was just like nothing but pain. It's like, oh, that something's happened there. So the third time, I think I what did I do with that one? I think it was something to do with the fridge door or something. The second time, I picked up my laptop and the transform, the rectangular transformer box and the cable, the actual cable fell out a bit and the box fell onto my toe. Like, ow. So I went downstairs, and I'm not joking, this moment I got into the kitchen, a cup fell handle first onto the same toe on the handle, right on the joint, and then it was broken again. It's like, it's the only one I've ever broken. I've never broken anything else apart from teeth.
Oh, God.
Wow.
But it is not the most painful thing that's ever happened to me. Where is my pen? Yeah, that would be gallstones.
Ugh,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I didn't.
My gallbladder had me screaming. Absolutely.
I believe it.
It's still not the worst, but like I've been through some stupid stuff that most people don't go through, which is what throws that whole pain scale out the window for me.
Yeah.
Is, you know, like, well, is this a 9 or is this a 10? And I'm like, until you've like ran face first into an invisible cloud of acid vapor, and like when it hits you, it causes so much pain that you instinctively go and you suck that acid vapor into your lungs. Like that's a whole different level.
Fish,
Or like
are you just a cartoon character? Because some of the
kind
stuff
of.
that
Oh,
happened to
let me tell you, my cousin Gumby, he's been through more stuff than I have. He's literally Bugs Bunny. Like the fact that he's still alive is only due to the fact that he's animated. But like, and like, I worked at a factory one time shooting toxic waste foam into doors for insulation, and you have to use this mixture of industrial solvents to melt the foam off of your gloves, you know, to clean your gloves so that you can do anything, and so that like I don't get tumors from the toxic foam. And the solvent melt through my chemical proof gloves and ran into all the cuts in my hand. And like that is the pinnacle of pain I've ever experienced. That was instant shock. That was just standing there in amazement that anything could feel like that. And like after that, broken toes and stuff are like, you know, that's a 6. You really want to know what a 10 is? I got it.
I think there's a difference between acute pain and chronic pain as well.
Oh yeah, like my back never hurts nearly as bad as that. Doesn't hurt as bad as a suddenly broken toe hurts, but it's all the time and it never relents and it's always there.
I mean, like when I was like 4 months on the floor with my back when it first happened, and it's just that you can't get away from it, and you're trying to get into position, and it's, you know, even though it's like not an 8 or 9 or on the pain scale, well, apart from sometimes, because it was, you know, sometimes it can be, but it's like, you know, because you just cannot get away from it, even when you're trying to sleep and stuff. That makes it worse. Like that's what makes chronic pain the worst bit, I think.
The relentlessness of it.
Yeah.
And it makes you more tired, and then you can't sleep because of the pain. And,
I mean, I'm so glad that mine actually kind of just got better by itself. But
there's times that like I will go into that fight or flight mode and instinctively like I want to run away because it hurts so bad, but there's no place I can go because I take it all with me. And you know, it's the body that hurts, and sometimes like I just want to crawl out of my skin and run away and leave the body behind, but like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Oh, J-Man has a question about Caw. Does Caw have any healing factor?
Caw definitely heals better and faster than we do. All the Cro-Magnons do. Like they're a very robust breed. He's not quite Wolverine. Like, you know, you're not going to chop off his arm and watch it grow back. But like he heals up very quickly compared to the way we do. But, you know, that's just part of his species, which I'm loving all the interesting questions. I might have to stick that one in the letter column. That's a good one.
Is the one that I asked about the did the imprint gonna go in the letter column?
Oh yeah, the one you asked about what he ate. Absolutely.
Oh no, I meant did you see the one that I said?
Oh yeah, the one about imprinting. That one I don't. I've been meaning to go back and watch that episode again and write down those questions out of that because there were some good questions asked.
Yeah.
And
it's like, I think I asked it possibly in Messenger, but it's like, because a lot of baby birds imprint on the first thing they see or the first thing that raises them, so I kind of wondered if they do the same thing.
Oh yeah, and like, you know, does cause species come from eggs, and all kinds of good questions got asked at the end of that episode, and I'm planning on going and writing them down and having Caw answer them. But the first one that you asked me on that first show about the worst thing he ever ate, that one is in the letter column now because I had to put a couple things in just to figure out how I wanted to make it look. And it got really dark really fast. And Yeah,
bet it did.
it's
Oh.
pretty gross, but I'm pretty proud of it too.
God.
I really want to share it, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. So
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be backing when it. Is it the 16th?
yep,
Yeah, Fish
It's
is
next
actually going to
Tuesday.
be on UHS Presents the day before, right? Like that's the day before.
yeah, that Monday.
Is next. Holy shit! It's next week. Wow.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna be launching Caw on School of Fish Tuesday morning. School of Fish is gonna be moving over to my own channels, so I can have more freedom of when and where to post and where to share to and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
try and connect to my Kickstarters and all that stuff. Because
What's your
Synergy
what's your personal channel called? Just so that I'm sure that I'm following you.
it's going to go on the Mr. Fish Comics Facebook page. I'm probably going to run it on my own Facebook page, and I got like Mr. Fish Comics on YouTube. That
Mr. Fish.
I'll
I
kick
need
it there too.
I need to look up your Facebook page.
I got to
It's
figure out.
at Mr. Fish Comics. There you
Yeah.
go. I'm subscribed.
I
I will go and subscribe with my other account too, so that you have 2 new subscriptions.
I took a clue from Mike Watson when he was on a 5-star back in the day, and was talking about how like you need to have everything under the same name so it's easy to find. So I went
Yeah.
back and rebranded everything as Mr. Fish Comics, and it's made it real easy. Except for there's a guy out there that made a stupid, silly comic about Mr. and Mrs. Fish that looks like it was drawn by a junior high kid, and he beat me to a couple of places. So in a couple of places, it's like Mr.Fish.comics or Mr._Fish_comics.
Yeah.
But there's always a picture of Caw or Virgil there to let you know which one it is. Thank you, J-Man. I'm excited for it too. I'm excited for everybody to get a chance to read it, because this one has been so much fun. And I don't want to ruin it, but I'm just saying,
Absolutely stunned how fast
From the
you got it
tank
done. Oh,
to the next two kills are some of the favorite things I've ever written in my life. And so you can, look for that in the book. I love it so much. It has
So-
been so much fun.
with issue 1 of Caw, would you say it's like a slow burn world building type stuff, or is it like balls to the wall action from page 1, or is it
Yeah.
somewhere in between?
It's drop you in the middle of the story and we're going to figure it out as we go kind of
Oh,
thing.
nice.
Like, I mean, there's a little bit of exposition in the beginning from the captain of the space pirate ship, and that just helps explain a little bit about where we are and where we're coming from and why he has this obsession, blah blah blah. And
Is that
then
a
it
cute
goes
baby
into
alien?
nothing. Yeah, then it just goes into action, and it's fun. It's fast paced. It's a pretty short book. I'm wanting to keep it more like the old Flash Gordon serials, where it's just like, boom, 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 boom. Catch us next time, and boom, 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 boom. Be sure to watch out for the next amazing adventure, and just keep it fun and exciting, and be able to get them out quickly, because ultimately, like, if it wasn't for having to stop to run a Kickstarter, I could get out 12 issues of Caw a year without a real problem. Like, it writes itself quickly. The art's relatively easy. I'm not doing a whole lot of crazy 3-point perspective city shots, in, this urban dystopia. Like, it's all monsters and jungles and, spaceships and cool stuff. It's just all fun, and it's not incredibly deep or complex. Like, I got Green Zone to do the deep, complex, emotional, political stuff. This is, kicking ass and taking names. And
I
getting
still
the
think
world.
you could draw a 3-point cityscape faster than I could.
Oh, absolutely! I've absolutely got some cheats that I use in Clip Studio that I I could lay onto you that I picked up from watching other artists' art streams. Like I watched a guy that does he does all the art for like a movie and stuff where you're like figuring out what it's going to look like, you know, and like what the vibe's going to be and the color schemes and stuff, and you know, doing all the artwork for like what does this city look like and what do the creatures look like, and I don't remember what it's called. I know the name, it's just escaping me at the moment.
Yeah.
All the stuff that ends up in the art book of the movie afterwards, like he does that stuff, and he was showing some of the stuff that he did to throw up buildings and stuff real quick, and he has all these different like faces of buildings or collections of windows for buildings, and he just paints these rectangular cubes in perspective in places and then stretches this group of windows and sticks it on and puts it in perspective on the other side and then paints some details, and you've got these amazing looking buildings in 3-point perspective super quick. So I went in and drew all of these buildings in these different styles and stuff, you know, like all glass buildings and brick buildings with windows and tenement buildings and all kinds of stuff. And I drew really nice faces of all of these buildings. And then I'll go in and draw all these rectangular cubes in perspective and then take like, okay, this building has this texture, and I'll stretch it and put it on in perspective. And this one has this one, and do that. And that makes it real easy to keep the buildings the same when we rotate the camera, and like, okay, this texture was on this building, this one was on this one, and I'll put this one on this one. And it makes it real easy to make it all look the same when I come around. It makes it much easier and quicker to make sure that the heights of the floors stay the same, because I always had a real problem with that. Like, this building might have 15 stories in it, and the building next to it would be 5 stories tall and taller. Like I had a real problem with doing that and not seeing it when I was in high school. So like this helps me fix that because I build them all in the same template. So it's really easy to make sure that I keep the floors relatively the same level. And I even made the tops of some buildings. So if we're looking down on it, I can drop this picture in and move it around, get it in perspective, and then I can drop all the lines in perspective following my rulers off of like the air conditioner and the little roof access building and all the little walls, and then draw all the other details that need to be drawn. And like when we get close enough on a building that you can see that stuff, I'll use that template that I put up as a template and then draw everything. But now I know where will these lines in the window be in perspective as they get further away or closer to you, because all of that's taken care of by stretching it into perspective, and makes my work so fast and easy. And I drew it all, so it all looks like my style.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, he used the 3D background. Like, it doesn't look like that because it's all drawn in my hand anyway.
Yeah.
And it works so great.
Nice.
I love finding out shortcuts like that. You know, it's just to make things go so much faster.
Mm-hmm. And since I've started making windows and stuff too, because every once in a while you need a building that doesn't look like that. But
Yeah.
like I've got like old school windows, I've got really fancy ornate windows and craftsman windows and like factory windows that I've made and doors, so that I can pull those up and copy and paste them and stretch them into perspective if I'm building a new warehouse or I'm building, you know, a fancy apartment building or
Yeah.
yada yada yada. If I'm going to be drawing the inside of an apartment several times, I will lay out some of those walls, or like even lay out like the floor pattern of a room that has like the rug on it and outlines for where the chairs are, and then I'll put that in perspective for the floor and then extend from that up and make the couches and the cabinets and everything else, and then it stays the same no matter how I rotate it. And that's been a huge help. It's just the time it takes to figure that stuff out takes time.
Yeah.
Like that's an hour just plotting out like, okay, if the cabinets were that big and now they're over here, what would that be? If I can just drop a floor plan in and I know how far the cabinets come out, boom, I'm done. That saved me an hour of work. I can just draw them in now.
I know. I think Paul, who does Miss Medusa, he makes a lot of 3D models of the tent layouts and stuff. Because just to make things easier, so you're not having to
Oh yeah.
He
figure it
spends a
out.
lot of
constantly.
time on that stuff, yeah.
And with oh, absolutely. Yeah, we love a lot of the same stuff. That's why I know J-Man's going to get a kick out of this. I wish this first issue was like, 80 pages long, because there's so much awesome stuff that I want to get to. And there's so many badass characters and bounty hunters and villains and monsters. But like, I can't get all that done and get it out quickly. So I'm going the other route. So hopefully everybody will enjoy it and come back for issue 2, because issue 2, if I didn't have to pay the bills and didn't have to get my tooth cut out, I would already be halfway through issue 2. I seriously thought about putting issue 2 on the Kickstarter and just like, I'll have it done by then.
Do that. I mean, yeah. People do
Well,
like
I think we're getting getting to the stage where we should probably finish for today. But this is
that's
how
looking
far I've got.
so awesome.
I realized that I've got an old version of the actual the sketch underneath it, so you can kind of see what I've done to him just by doing the whole.
That's wild. I just love it. I'm so excited to see how this is coming out.
I'm so glad
it's
I
so much
decided to put
fun
the
to
girl
just
in.
watch you paint it. It's like watching magic and getting to chit chat while you do it.
I'm quite glad you come on though, because I'm not very good at talking whilst I'm drawing.
Oh, I can talk now. That I can do.
Katie's better at narrating her drawing than she thinks she is, so.
Mm-hmm.
I just get really tongue-tied, but
I really enjoyed the one on metal. Like, I was literally glued to the screen the whole time. And like as you were talking through the shadows and the highlights and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, oh, okay, I get that. And like some of the things I had kind of been doing, just copying what I'd seen other people do, but like understanding why it was happening that way was a big help.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants me to do more of the tutorial ones, I'm more than happy to do them, or just carry on doing stuff like this. I think, I think people like watching me do the big fancy things. Like I think Cthulhu was quite a popular one. I still need to finish that one.
I appreciate the hell out of watching an image happen from start to finish, but also I want to listen to you tell me how to draw fur and hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could work that in with what I'm doing as well, but
and all those little gnarly doodads on Cthulhu was I just sitting there watching them come to life, and I'm like,
oh,
how are you doing that? Like, you just like, it doesn't look like that when you start on that little lump, but now it looks like a big funky lump of flesh. Like, it didn't look like that at the beginning.
It's just practice, I guess. Different techniques and things, but no, I'm really looking at how liking how this is looking so far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's looking awesome.
I kind of want to put some more of the alien dudes around it, just like shadows of them in the foreground, maybe. But I'll see if that works. I might do it like off stream and then see if it actually works out well. But and I also need to.
Making me wonder if I should maybe get a skirt made of feathers. I'm not sure.
I bet it'd be really itchy.
I tell you, that's one thing. As I was playing with his design, and like at one point it got real complicated, and then I started to tone it back down again. And I was thinking cosplay now that I didn't think like when I designed Virgil as an 8-foot lizard monster, and I was like, I could make a set of wings and a mask and some pants and a belt, and hire a bodybuilder to walk around, for an afternoon. Like, that wouldn't be as bad as sticking somebody in a giant foam Virgil suit and having to smell somebody else's body funk from the last time. Like, this would be a lot easier to get somebody to do.
You need to get that guy that did
you could like you'll have the pants, like you can wash those. You don't have to wash anything else if you got it lined with those pants.
Yeah, you'll have to get the guy that did the what's the God of War? Is it Kratos?
Oh yeah.
The German guy, the biggest cosplayer of it. He was like something like 7 foot something. He was cosplaying as Kratos. That was a good video.
Jesus. I would be a little scared of the guy. Yeah, that would be scary.
Yeah, he's like twice the height.
Convention and seeing that.
Yeah, he's like twice the height of everybody around him because there's all these kids sat leaning with him about like half the height. He's so good.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave this for this episode. Mainly because I've been up for a long, long time and I'm getting tired now.
We almost hit the 2-hour mark. That's not bad for us.
No, that's not bad. Yeah.
That's pretty efficient.
Oh, and I just realised that this is my T-shirt from when the Mountain T-shirt company did actually do one of my designs on my. It's a bit faded now.
The unicorn, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do the designs for very long, but
that image was used for promotion for the Sundering, but I don't know if it made it into the book. Did it make it into the book? We'll find out pretty soon because the Sundering is shipping now, so.
Yeah, and they look so big as well. I didn't expect them to be that heavy. But
oh yeah. Tabletop books are fucking massive.
I think Laurie said they were like 2 pounds each or something in weight.
They're big boys, yeah.
Yeah.
Weaponry.
Yeah, but I can't wait to see it because I mean, like all the artwork in it, like Ryan's artwork and.
It made my shitty little sketches look good. That printing job did. Whew! I did some filler crap from some. It wasn't crap. Okay, I tried my best, but I did some filler artwork of like bottles and flowers and shit. Like we all were. Katy and Dee and I tossed a bunch of those to Lori for filler stuff. Yeah, and I was like, these are shit. You don't want these, do you? And she put them in the book, and they actually look really good now that they're printed.
Man, that hurts my feelings. I wish she would have asked me. I'd have thrown all kinds of crap.
It was that's what I said too. I was like, damn, you have like so many people who would have loved to chip into this, but she just didn't think about it soon enough. That was the problem. And next time I'll put you on the list and you can have filler.
It has always been my dream to work on a role-playing book because I mean,
oh my god, you're on the list.
That's all that awesome artwork that I studied growing up as a kid, even from like the Ninja Turtle and other Strangeness books to like all the D&D books, and like I bought those books, no intention of playing the game, just so I could study the artwork. You know, loved them.
I mean,
consider yourself on the. I know people at that studio, and I can get you on the list. So consider yourself hired for artwork for the next book. I mean, assuming that the next book doesn't have some specific set of artists that we need to pick from.
Fishproof claws or something.
I did 10 drawings in a week for the filler stuff for that. I was quite impressed with how fast I was working that.
I have I don't even know how big mine was. I have my iPad right here to look though. I have quite an impressive stack, and I carried on drawing for a while after that. I thought, I should try doing like 1 drawing a week, and that way there's a surplus for next time. I don't know where the hell my Sundering pile is. I have like 800 piles, and they're all just labeled stack. That's what Procreate calls them. And I'm like, I don't know which stack that I'm looking for here.
I'll have to try Procreate at some point, because when people talk about how it works, I think Mike uses Procreate, doesn't he? So I've watched videos of him using it. So,
and it's a lot of fun. It does have its limitations, and I can clearly see how Clip Studio is superior in a lot of ways. But that being said, it's still I've got a whole crap load of art. Scroll down. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of shit for that.
It was fun just making up
this one might be my favorite because look at how I made the metal look metally.
Yeah, that
looks good.
I'm very happy with how a lot of them came out. Thank you.
I'd be excited to find that on a quest. It'd probably kill me, but I'd be excited to find it.
Yeah, it does seem like it's got the blood of some kind of evil monster necromancer thing inside the
Mhm.
gym. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. We'll
Our bard
definitely.
would try and take it in my group. She tries to take everything that's gold. But...
Ugh, fucking women. Yeah. Glad I never was one. Anyway, well, I'll definitely let Lori know that you want to draw some shit for the next tabletop book, because we are definitely going to do another tabletop book. We have like 3 of them in various stages of development right now, and we depending on how stuff goes with the comics, I mean, like, we might be doing one sooner than we planned. Who knows? It's just a matter of like what gets done and when. You know how this stuff works, so it might be soon, it might not be. I don't know, but it'll be fun. Whatever happens. But anyway, yeah. So I guess we should just stop talking and turn on the the credit video, and everybody can go on their merry way.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.